My sweet suffering, all my sorrow. I share them with you. Let's duel!
Okay, so let's try and make this quick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the promised compare and contrast of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Creating a Champion art book, Heroes Edition versus Champions Edition. And already you can see there is just this size gap or difference between the two boxes, you know? You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Where the Champions Edition is almost, not quite, but almost twice the size. And the content doesn't differ that much. So, if we turn this, right, before we turn anything over, right, so we've got the Champion Blue, and we've got Link on the front of this one, and we've got the Calamity Black and Ganon on the front, featuring Link and Zelda. If we turn this one on its side, we have the book itself, the Spirit Orb, and the bonus goodies. Where with this one, you have to open the doors. Then you have the book, the tapestry, and then the book, and then you get to the prints and the champion power orbs. So I think what we'll do is we'll look at the differences in the books first, and then we'll get into the trinkets. So give me a moment just to set up and place both books in front of us here. So here we have both of the books, and I kind of feel like an idiot, and I'm sure it's going to be pointed out in the comments for the previous video, but the back of this book actually has another image on it, and it's the image I was talking about in the video for this book. It never occurred to me to check the back of the book because this one, nothing, completely blank. This one, however, turn it over, and you get the image I was talking about with Zelda on it. I still think it would have been cool to have the one image with the two of them on it, but cool all the same that it was included. So that shut me up, I suppose. It never occurred to me to check the back of the book during the first unboxing because, well, it's not like the logo or something is here. You know, it's not even on the back of this, where the black box here has, I suppose that should have been my clue, but oh well. Live and learn, hanging on to something. Anyway. So the two books. This is just, you know, the major differences are in the covers, where this is sort of a lighter version of that leathery plastic that the envelopes in here use. But it feels more like the encyclopedias and there was the Hyrule Historia, the Arts and Artifacts, and the Hyrule Encyclopedia. This is more in line with those covers, just in terms of, you know, that's, though there is a difference in the texture, at least. So, there's a really nice picture, though. Anyway, where this, so you get the logo, but it's more of a cloth material covering the hard backing, and it's meant to invoke the idea of the champion's tunic. Outside of that, you turn them both with their spines facing up. And of course, you can see the books are the exact same thickness. Just one's black and gold, black and gold. Sorry. I've got the radio on, so I'm kind of in a singy, dancey sort of mood. And then you've got the blue and white. But exactly the same thickness. Oh. And of course, then we have the gold-lined pages that we talked about in the previous video. So that's really all that's similar in the books, or dissimilar, I should say. Let's move on to the very large pieces of parchment that came with each one, shall we? Okay, so Champions Edition, Heroes Edition, we've got the centerpiece of tapestry here. It's like a sticker almost printed. And then we have the Traveler Shield, if I recall. So the envelopes, they're the same material. This one is much thicker because the thing inside it is much bigger. Though that still has a bit of, you can tell there's something heavy in there. So let's start with this. No, we'll actually have to start with this, and then we can layer that on top of it. So let's go. So in the blue envelope, we have the stupidly sized map of Hyrule. No, seriously, I think it's like 20 inches by 24 or 20 by 24 by 44. It's something ridiculous like that. I don't remember the measurements off the top of my head. I'll edit them in if I do recall, so you should see them in the bottom corner there. And that comes out of the blue envelope. So out of the black envelope then. Okay, wow, I was pretty wrong. The tapestry is just as long as the map, but it's not as wide. Like you can see, if I bring it back here, laid end to end, the ends match up. It just might not be completely apparent because of the way the creasing is from the folding, but yikes. But there is quite a there's the map parchment could act like a border to the lore or the history parchment. Interesting. Well, yeah, so they're about the same length, but one still fits into the other. So that's kind of cool. As I said in the other video, if I ever have to change studio, I want to do something with these, but buying the frames and getting the frames specially made for these, it's gonna cost me a fortune. So it'll be worth it, I hope. It's gonna cost me a fortune. So we'll move on to the photo, the photo and prints. So bear with me there. So I mentioned earlier about the size difference between the photo and how I really misjudged it. This should show you that as well. So here we have the art print that comes with the Champions Edition, and of course the Champions photograph that comes with the Hero Edition. So if we open this up, blank, but you get the really nice art, and again I think that's an A4 size. It might be just a bit bigger than A4, but there's a nice size to it all the same. You open this up. Where'd it go? We'll get to that. But you have the message from the end of the DLC in here from Cass. Okay? So, I said earlier I misjudged the size of the champion's photo when I went to go get it framed. Get ready for this now. Okay, just get it to sit. Yeah, that'll do. So, I went and bought a frame for it. And I knew the frame was going to be a bit big, right? Because I wanted something that would make the photo pop. But the border, as you can see the border I bought, I thought, yeah, that'll fit in there. It does, just not the way you might suspect. So this photo is actually stuck on to the leaflet that came inside the frame. And then that leaflet is stuck to the border and then placed inside the frame. So if I ever want to take it out, it'll come out very easily and it won't damage the photograph, and I can pop it back in here. But if you look at that, just put that there out of the way for a sec while I close this over. Just leave that there if you want to read it again. Cool. So we'll fold this back. And if we just take the print, like, I think this, yeah, that has a better chance of fitting in there snugly compared to the photograph. And that's kind of sad, because that means I have to get another frame made if I wanted to display this properly. Now I could very easily just pop this back in here and leave it, just sort of leave it out like that. But that doesn't feel right. So that's the difference in the photos and the prints. Why did they make that such an awkward size? Like, just why? Why is that such an awkward size? It's weird. Anyway, so the last thing, and yes, last, because the Champions Edition comes with this envelope. With the... God, why won't it lift out? Hold on, give me a second. So the Champions Edition comes with the envelope with these 6 prints in it. Something that the Heroes Edition doesn't. It doesn't come even with anything comparatively to this. With the Heroes Edition, you get the book, the photograph, the map, and the Spirit Orb. Where with this, you get the history of Hyrule tapestry, the art print, the 6 mini prints, and the 4 champion orbs. So there's really nothing to compare, which leads us in then to the Spirit Orb versus the champion orb. So let's take a look at that. Okay, for this I thought it best to stand the Heroes Edition back up, because as we learned before, and I want to show off again for those who are new or may not have watched the previous Heroes Edition video, if you slip that down, may the goddess smile upon you. Something that the monks say to you when you earn one of these spirit orbs. So if we pull this little box out, we have our purple spirit orb. Now I'm not going to go into them too in depth, because I did that in the previous video and I just feel I'd be retreading content. I don't want to do that and stall for time. So, it's a very clear purple. The wings of the Hylian crest show through quite well. And yeah, so there's no... So you can see these orbs are all made the same way. I just don't know how I display them. If I I don't know how I'd be able to do them justice, I suppose, if I were to display them. Let me just take one of them out so I can... There we go. Okay. So, like, they're made exactly the same way, with the color of the orb encompassing everything. And then that really adds to how the light hits off the object inside. Pop you up for a sec there, Ruta. You're gonna be the rebel. You're gonna be the rebel elephant. Yeah, okay, you don't want to sit up. Okay. See if I can angle you in a way then that the light gets you correctly. To show off your fabulous form. Yeah, Ruta's having none of it, where, you know, that's not fully in the thing, so it helps for displaying it, I suppose, which would be maybe the way to go about it. But I'd also be afraid of them getting scratched up and damaged, you know, just being out. Sure, they're in this thing, but can't be too careful, I suppose. This one's quite tough to get out, so Rudania should just sit as well. Once I figure out how to get the light to hit him. Yeah. So that's the four of them. Now obviously there's a bit of a, you know, I don't want to take the sponge out of the box, but just showing them all together. Brilliant. They actually look really cool together, and it makes me happier I have both versions of it now. So that'll do it. Just a quick overview. Let me pack this all back up and we'll wrap out the video. And I'll ask you to follow me on social media, donate to my coffee down below, and be sure to hit the like button. So be right back and we'll close out the video. So that will do it for the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that this compare and contrast of the two versions helps you decide which version is the right for you. If it does, drop me a comment down below. Let me know which one you went with and why. Did the Adventures of Link hold dearer in your heart, or did the camaraderie of the Nakama of the champions, you know, did that light a fire in you? I'd be genuinely curious to know. So that'll wrap this up. Thank you again for watching. As I've said, be sure to thumbs up the video. It does help the channel if you like what you've seen. Also, be sure to subscribe, please, and you can follow me on social media. The link to my Twitter is in the description down below, as is the link to my Ko-fi account if you happen to be feeling a little bit generous and want to help support the channel in other ways. Thank you again. Have a great day, stay safe, and I hope to see you again. Adios.